All eyes on Doge. Big run up to the moon. Whew. Doge still going up. All eyes on Doge. Still big run up to the moon. Keep going up. Going up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. Up. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin. Up. Movement in Doge. Dogecoin. 42.60. All eyes on Doge. Dogecoin.
How's everybody doing? We're holding on, right? We're holding on. Yeah, what's Kriss coming on early on a Sunday? Well, this is why we do have a lot of weakness in the crypto markets. And I came here to talk about it. Now, I may still do another stream tonight because this afternoon I'm going to be out. But I thought it would be good to come on now and we will talk about it. And we'll talk about it together, guys, because this is a lot. Yeah, CDM, left translated cycle, another Bitcoin dip, or is this really the start of an early bear market? Yes, total left translated cycle, and now we're in a bear, or is this just temporary and we still have another bull run to come? 12 cents incoming, A-star, like I've been saying about crypto, I never say never, right? We were talking about that the other day, right? Never say never, because you don't know. You don't know. So I don't use the word never. With crypto, we don't know. So let's get into it, guys. Let me go ahead and take a minute here just to go over a couple things about what's a bear market so that we can define it. And then we'll talk about the outlook going forward and how are things looking. So we'll take a look at all of that, guys. And then we're going to get into the chat. Crypto veteran, Jason, yes, you are. But there could be another dip, a dippier dip, right? Could be a dippier dip. So let's get into it. First, I was watching Rob on Digital Asset News this morning, and he brought up this thing, bear market guide, right? Bear market guide. Are we in a bear market? Some of you have been saying that for a number of weeks, or even a month ago. I think I first heard, yep, bull's over, we're now in a bear. I don't know, Killixer, is this dumb? What are you doing right now? What are you doing right now? Are you preparing? Do you think we're in an overall bull market? I mean, it's been 3 months now of just down. I mean, look at the Dogecoin chart. We show this. I mean, this is this huge blue channel down that we have had. And we even went below where our CME gap was back here in early November. And now we're lower than that, and we're about to hit this 17.6 line, this orange line here. That was kind of my point of no return. And we're really close. But this is how it's been. So what is happening? What is happening here, right? So let's talk about it. Bear market. So here, a bear market is, what's a bear market, right? Officially, according to Investopedia. A bear market is a financial market experiencing prolonged price declines. Prolonged. Is 3 months prolonged? Is 3 months prolonged? That's the first question, right? Yeah, it's not looking good. For Dogecoin, from the top to where we are right now, 62%. A 62% decline. That's not good. Let's look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, from its high to where it is now, is down about 24%. Bitcoin is not as low as the big dip we had to 78K back here at the end of February, but it's still continuing to look weak. So there's the first thing, bear market. Generally 20% or more. So what did we say about Bitcoin here? What was that decline? Is it 20%? 23%. That's more than 20%. Okay, so we've got two down. A bear market usually occurs along a widespread investor pessimism. Are we feeling pessimistic? A lot of people are. So we could have three. Large, I mean, for pessimism, yeah, we can even look at this, right? Fear and greed index, or fear. And we were in extreme fear last week. Fear, extreme fear, pessimism, that's there. Large-scale liquidation of securities and other assets. Man, have we been watching this? Liquidation heat map, right? Just in the last day, another $280 million of liquidations. And we can look at the heat map going all the way back to early December. And we can see all of these green bars here. All of these green bars are all long liquidations. People who are thinking optimistically, trying to ride the price of cryptos up with leverage and getting wiped out. I mean, one of the worst days here was December 8th, where we had $1.5 billion of leverage wiped out in one day. But we've had many billion-dollar days. Here's another one that we had on February 2nd, $1.25 billion of leveraged longs. So the greens are much bigger than the reds, mostly because the price has been declining over that time for 3 months. A lot of traders still betting long because they believe in these 4-year cycles that we've been talking about again and again, the 4-year cycles. We'll get to that in a minute. So we've got that and a weakening economy. So do we have a weakening economy? Former chair of U.S. Federal Reserve, Ben Bernanke, sees no relief in inflation. Difficult times ahead. No control in inflation in the short term. And no rate cuts possibly in 2025. High inflation would make it difficult for the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates. And then we have all the tariffs too. The tariffs throwing fear in the markets. And not only that, but we look at the decline of Bitcoin, but do you know what else we also look at the decline in? And that is the S&P 500. Look at what the S&P 500 has done just since February 19th. We've seen this drop 7.5% just in the S&P 500. The NASDAQ over that same time has dropped 10%. 10% in the NASDAQ. So stocks are starting to go into the bear market. But crypto, I think we're in a mini bear. We're in a mini bear. Bear markets are often associated with declines in an overall market or index, like the S&P 500. Individual securities or commodities can also be considered to be in a bear market if they experience a decline of 20% or more over a sustained period of time, typically 2 months or more. Bear markets also may accompany general economic downturns, such as recession. Bear markets are seen as the opposite of upward trending bull markets. So right now, S&P 500 and NASDAQ are only a few weeks. Yeah, mini bear, Christoph. That's what I think. Mini bear. But Doge has been 3 months of downward, 60% decline. You can't deny that. 60% decline. So, with that in mind, Here's what Dan Crypto Trade says. Bitcoin is traded around this area with a lot of volatility. Currently sits on top of the 200 EMA, but below the previous range low around 90K. You can say the market is very undecisive at this area after all the headlines that have been digested. I think whatever moves from here will be decisive for the following couple of weeks of trending price action. Above 90K, hold there. I think we revisit the all-time high. This would be in line with previous consolidations, range breakdowns, and retakes. Below 80K, it could be a wick. We'll see. It would show a lot of weakness. In that case, I think we can start looking for the previous range high test at the 74K region. This isn't my main scenario, but it's something to keep in mind. For now, we'll simply wait for either of these levels to be broken and for the market to show its hand. Is this a deviation in an overall bull market? Or, as said earlier, total left translated cycle, December 2024 was the high, and we have an early start to the bear. That's what's on the table right now. That's what's on the table. Bitcoin reserve backlash signals unrealistic industry expectations. Not that long ago, even the idea of a Bitcoin reserve held and supported by a federal government was a revolutionary idea. But now what's going on? We watched it live on Friday, Trump congratulating everybody and everybody congratulating Trump. And it's like, we're congratulating them for what? The United States government just isn't going to sell the Bitcoin they already have. And there may be a path to getting some more, but they're not going to buy it. They're going to seize more, or they're going to find some other loophole or way to accumulate more. But it doesn't sound like a good thing, and that's why we dumped on Friday. The crypto stockpile, they don't even know what they have. They got to do an audit to figure out what other cryptos had they actually seized before. And they just say they're not going to sell that. So it was kind of a big nothing burger, in my opinion. So, yeah, all this hype about Bitcoin Reserve, and then you got it. But Michael Saylor wants to buy, and the U.S. government is saying, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. You got things like Solana. The Solana futures market hints at more losses, maybe Solana coming down to 130K. I mean, let's look at the Solana chart. I mean, this has just fallen off the table since its high here on January 19th. January 19th, Solana was at 294, almost at 300. And now at 132, down 55%, almost as much as Dogecoin. If you compare from where Dogecoin was at 48 cents to now, Solana is down 50%. Dogecoin 60%. But there's a lot of cryptos that have done these huge nosedives. So people saying, hey, Dogecoin is dead. Dogecoin, I'm like, look at the rest of the market. It's not just Dogecoin that is falling. The whole market is down. Everything is down. We have Toncoin. Toncoin, 96% of its holders are now at a loss for Toncoin. We look at Into the Block, and Into the Block gives us these percentages. For some reason, Dogecoin is not showing up right now, so their data is out on Dogecoin at the moment. They used to have this data, now they don't for Doge. So I don't know exactly the percentage of Dogecoin holders that are in or out of the money. Bitcoin, remember, used to be 99.9, right? Now it's back to 86%. There's 13% of Bitcoin wallets that are in the red. People accumulating Bitcoin over 90K are now in the red. And there's a lot of wallets. 13% buying Bitcoin on the hopes that it's going to go up higher, and they're now actually in the red. ETH is about 50-50. But we have a number of them that are very, very red. Here's the Toncoin one right there, 96%. SHIB is about 60% in the red. We got other big ones, though, like I thought it was Arbitrum back here that was pretty bad. There's Algorand. Algorand is 81% in the red. There's Arbitrum right there, 99%. 99% of people that bought Arbitrum are in the red. Optimism is the same. It's about 94%. So that's kind of bear market stuff. So are we still in an overall bull market, and this is just a temporary pullback for 3 months? Or is it the start of a bear? So AO here gives us this chart that he's been watching for some time. And he says, look, this is where we are. This is for Bitcoin. We've seen these pullbacks in the past. However, the sentiment just isn't the same. The sentiment is really negative right now, not positive. 2021, this is when, after we had an initial Dogecoin bull, and then we went all the way through. We went all the way through from mid-February all the way through March, mostly kind of sideways, but not down like this, and not with the economy looking weak like we have right now. 2017, we were on the verge of a huge run. 2013, way early in Bitcoin's trading, but you could still look at sort of the second bull. And that's what AO is saying. Look, we're about ready for a second bull. That's going to come. And I still believe that can happen as well. But overall, I'm still optimistic, guys. I'm not saying we are total bear and this is crashing. I'm not saying that. I just think this is a new market that crypto has never been in, because we're more aligning with what's going on with the economy, what's going on with S&P, NASDAQ, but crypto, of course, at a greater scale, because crypto is still a little more volatile than the NASDAQ and the S&P. And that doesn't take away my overall 2025 price prediction for Dogecoin, looking at the fall of 2025 when we have a big run on Doge. That hasn't ended yet. That's not out of the picture yet. And we still have a lot of, like, Dogecoin price could shoot up to $2.74. So there's still a lot of very bullish predictions that are happening despite the current trend. And there's Ali, and he still is very bullish, still shows this upward trend. But right now, Dogecoin is about to fall out of his lower channel. If Dogecoin does fall out of that lower channel of Ali's charts, it'll be interesting to see what he says, because we're really close. We're really close to that. And he did not predict that. Although the other week he did say something like 6-cent Dogecoin, which comes down to this next fib line, but that negates the upward channel that he's been showing. And I think he just did that for clicks anyway, to be honest. So what do I say? Well, look, I look back, and I made this video back in November. This is November 28th, and I made this video about taking profits. And people may ridicule me or whatever for taking profits like I did, but I had a goal. And starting back just about 2.5 years ago, I was like, right, the FTX crash happened, and I was like, this is the time to buy. Bitcoin was down to 15.6. Dogecoin was flirting around 7 cents at the time. And I was like, this is the time to start buying. And I made really just a theory of looking at the 4-year cycles, looking at where we were with a final like black swan. And that's when I started buying. And I started buying big and going all in. And you can look 2 years ago on my channel at the videos I was making, the live streams, which were not well attended at the time because everyone was stuck in a bear market and was just like not even thinking about crypto. And that was the time to buy. And that's what I did. And in November, as we were all glorious and like this huge run up, and I started talking about taking profits. I said, as crypto prices settle a bit on the Thanksgiving holiday, it's time to revisit strategies for profit taking in this overall bull market. And right after that, if you recall, I took my first slice of Dogecoin profit at 42,069, and I got ridiculed about that. 42 cents. I took my first slice. And I talked about continually like setting targets and taking more profits. Now, I was predicting Dogecoin at that time, looking at all the trends to go up a little more. Okay, oh, Kriss, when are you going to take your next profits? And I was like, well, it could be 60 cents. We didn't get there. And as the market started to decline, we were talking about what do you do? Where's it going to go? And then when the tariffs hit, and I remember that Friday, January 31st, I was like, this tariff thing doesn't look good. I have my goal still in order to buy a house. And then on Saturday, February 1st, I was like, I have to cut here because the sentiment was so bad then. And that was right before that February 2nd crash. There's on the Solana chart, we had it, but it was also on the Doge chart. Big, deep decline. We are now below that with Doge at 1798 now. Yeah, we are in the 17s again, guys, on Dogecoin. So the question now is, what are you going to do, right? What are you going to do now? Are you going to buy on dips? Do you still believe that we have what AO is saying here, that there is going to be a second bull in 2025, or are you all bearish? That's what's on the table right now. So let's see what you guys are thinking right now. On the 15-minute chart, we are in the red, dropping down. Bitcoin is now at 83.4. Bitcoin had dropped earlier this morning and hit 83 exactly, but Doge is showing more weakness in the 17s. I did show an Ali chart, Corey. I did show an Ali chart. He has not made a convincing statement yet. I mean, we can see where he is right now. Let's take a look at what Ali's latest is, right? Whales have bought over 22,000 Bitcoin in the last 72 hours. Woohoo. No, that's not what it is. See, Ali gets this wrong all the time. Oh, sorry, I missed the Ali one. There's the Ali chart. Sorry, Ek. Show an Ali chart. So here's an Ali chart. These are mostly transfers. Most of these aren't really buys. So again, I criticize Ali about that all the time. Bitcoin funding rates, exchanges have flipped negative. Historically, this has signaled prime conditions for a potential rebound. Oh. Here's his whale thing again. Leverage for short positions. So he's very optimistic this morning. He's talking about where the big shorts are. Whales buying, funding rates turning positive. That's what Ali's saying this morning. He's all Mr. Positive. I don't know, Corey. Bruce says, I will just hold for the next bull season. Not going to sell and take a loss. That's a long-term conviction. We don't know what's going to happen the rest of this year. It's just looking bearish. So I have a bearish sentiment, but I'm not convinced that this is an overall bear market and we're going down to 6 cents, like Peter says. Other girl, can't say it's always easy. Disappointments along the way. Trump token, tariffs. What's going to happen with the FOMC? We've got like 10 days before the FOMC. Most likely, no interest rate cuts. If it can't hold 17, then I think you mean 6 cents, HH. Hey, Greg, how are you? Hodl. Keep buying dips. That's what I'm going to keep doing. I'm going to keep buying dips. I believe in Dogecoin. I've taken a lot of profit, but I'm back in buying mode, buying on the dips for the next thing. So, yeah, Ryan, the chat's less active because we're all kind of numb, right? There's a lot of numbness here with all of this red. This is obviously a bear market, Albert says. Okay, so Albert, what are you doing about it? If it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. Okay, so what's your strategy now? What are you going to do? Because that's what, I mean, we can say all we want. We can look at the charts and we can see how it's traded down. But what are you doing about it? What is your strategy now? That's what I want to hear. Because all I hear from people is bear, 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 Doge going to 6 cents, everything's dropping. Okay, so what are you doing about it? Are you just you're just not gonna buy then, right? Or are you gonna sell what you have left because it's gonna go lower? That's what I want to hear. Jason's convinced, DCAing, buying dips, and he just continues to buy little bits at a time. Doesn't matter, because we look at the 4-year cycle and we're like, okay, if this was the top here that we had at the end of 2024 left translated cycle, what's going to happen, right? Is it going to come down like it did in 2022 for the rest of 2025? But then what happens? We start coming back up eventually. And time again, as we've come up higher and higher. Only 4% of the world population owns cryptocurrency. Do you know that? Only 4% of the world population owns cryptocurrency. So what happens? Hey, we don't get the huge blow-off run in 2025. But that doesn't mean it doesn't happen in 2027 or 2028. So if you have conviction and you have time, we're still early. But what it means today, what it means tomorrow, next week, someone put his family's inheritance up in XRP. I know, Corey, right? XRP. You guys know how I feel about XRP. And I'm not changing that. And even this morning, I was replying to some posts about XRP. There's some new information out that Ripple was actually purposely spreading FUD about Bitcoin as a strategy. Spread FUD about Bitcoin and let's get more people to buy XRP. And it's just like, ugh. Denny says, I'm buying Bitcoin, the most secure asset at the moment, and keep holding the rest. Well, Raul, the Boston Bruins beating the Tampa Bay Lightning yesterday was a total surprise because we just shipped off like 3 of our best players. We were in a total selling mode. So we couldn't win with them. So let's sell them off. Brad Marchand, Charlie Coyle. Brandon Carlo gone. And then we win. The better game was the Celtics last night beating the Lakers. If Ollie gets it wrong most of the time, just stop showing his charts. I just show it for reference. Again, I present the news on Dogecoin and I show the charts good and bad. You guys make up your mind what to do with it. I always put my commentary over it. And remember those Ollie charts of $18 and then he cuts it down to $12? I show the chart, but then I tell you what I think of it. And I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. Going into this, my game plan was to hold for 4 years, maybe take profits along the way. Excuse me. Show is over, folks. No bull market left. It's only down from here. Wow, only down from here. Johnny, that's not how, do you think like crypto is like a tulip? Like the big tulip market, and it's never going to recover? I don't. It's just for now. What are you going to do now? Are you completely out of crypto then? It's totally over and you're completely sold everything? Is that what you've done? Your trading should tell you what you believe. If you're just saying stuff like this, but you still hold crypto, then what are you doing? Because you're not being true to yourself. Is ETH going to run up soon? ETH is the weakest of all. Have you seen the ETH Bitcoin? I mean, we keep looking at the ETH versus Bitcoin chart, and we're like, yeah, eventually ETH is going to like do something against Bitcoin. And it hasn't. It just keeps going lower and lower. We did have that dip back here on February 3rd, and I circled that and I said, I think that's the bottom for ETH versus Bitcoin. Man, it's really close today. It's really close to that. ETH versus Bitcoin. Continuing to show weakness again and again and again. Again, I think ETH doomed itself when it changed to proof of stake. But that's my opinion. Some others believe it. But that's my big opinion was, yep. No more mining for ETH. Miners all went away. Can't wait to get more Doge. Bring her down. Monica still bullish. ETFs, Such Pay, House of Doge, partnerships, the Dogecoin Foundation, and maybe Elon out there, right? Tesla and X. Is Elon going to save Dogecoin again? There are some who are Elon believers still. Most of us are like, let's take Dogecoin, let's do the adoption thing. I invited House of Doge on for an interview once things launch. So we'll see whether that happens. Yeah, hi, MTB. We're still waiting for the Dogecoin Foundation. Said it would be in a couple weeks. Well, this week would be a couple weeks. None of the positive news will override the negative news. We have seen Dogecoin go on runs when the overall market was red. That has happened before for Dogecoin. Maybe some likes will light up. Yeah, very weak on the likes today. As we're in a negative market right now. We're now trying to hold 18 cents. We've dipped down to 17.95 today. Some are buying, some are holding. What's the bottom? Well, Mohammed, there's nothing. I'm not going to tell you what the bottom is. You can do all the technical analysis in the world you want. I have a line at 17.6 right here, this orange line. I've been carrying that line for a long time. Is that the bottom? No technical analysis is going to tell you that. The news always overrides TA, positive or negative. That's just the way it is. So you can have all these guys doing all the technical analysis, and the news and the sentiment will just blow that out of the water every time. That's just the way it is. So all these guys who do nothing on YouTube but do all these lines, charts, Fibonacci, up and down, what, it doesn't matter. The news will override it every time. Even Ali and his precious chart that he's been showing for months now is about to just be blown out of the water. If it isn't already. I just try and keep it real, guys. You know me. I'm still overly optimistic, but in the short term, it's bearish. It's got bearish sentiment. All the economic indicators are bearish. All the trading is bearish. Like someone said earlier, right? If it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. It's bearish. Is this an overall bear market? I'm not there yet. Yeah, Corey, exactly. Exactly. Ali's a grifter. We've been talking about that for weeks. He just does those charts to get views. He doesn't have a conviction one way or the other. He'll post whatever gets him more views. When it's time to be negative, because he was all positive for Dogecoin. He was all positive for Dogecoin. And he was getting a lot of clicks on that. And then when the market started turning and the sentiment looked negative, all of a sudden he changed his narrative from $12 Dogecoin to 6-cent Dogecoin. And now this morning, he's posting all these positive things because he wants people to believe this is turning around. You're nervous? Going to be stuck holding a bag? So Johnny, yeah, I put my portfolio into Doge, got it down to 35%, sold some up at 30 cents to buy back cheaper, ain't buying back in. 50% of my portfolio ain't much versus my net worth. Well, it's crypto. We've always talked about crypto investing being volatile, right? Volatility, risky, and we're seeing the outcome of that. As we earlier on the stream, we showed the difference in how Doge and other alts have traded, like Solana versus Bitcoin, and then versus S&P 500 and NASDAQ, which are now turning south, but they're not down as much as crypto is down. So more volatile. More volatile. Yep. It'll be later in March. We're doing the members only, paranormal. Later in March. I don't have enough invested to panic. Question for the people. Are you guys nervous? Yeah, and I've been growing more nervous as all of these so-called big things, right? The strategic Bitcoin reserve, no. The crypto stockpile, no. The tariffs have thrown a lot of fear in the market. And back on January 31st is when I was talking about the tariff thing. And that's when I took most of my profits, was then. I have bought back in. I bought it back at 18.5, remember? Or 18.6, and now we're at 17.9. So I'm even down on that. And I thought that was a pretty good dip. And now we're even lower. So I just woke up this morning, seen a 90-day low, bought Doge with 100% gains at 36 cents. Yeah. Dustin bought some more Doge and Jasmine yesterday. Yeah. Maybe a V shape. That's the optimistic view, right? Go to the 2-hour chart here, and we'll at least think that, hey, maybe this is going to come down, and then it's going to come back like that, back in the 19s. There's an optimistic viewpoint right there. I just don't know what's going to get this thing to climb back up. Certainly not on a Sunday. Certainly not on a Sunday. I don't think we're going to see that. So instead of white, I'll make that, let's call it orange. I don't see that happening on a V shape on a Sunday. Could we instead see, let's say this come down and kind of battle around here to Monday, and then maybe on Monday we start to see some climbing back. That would probably be a more realistic expectation. If we see even on Monday the stock market start to come back, when is the stock market going to continue to decline? That's when I think we could go below my 17.6 line here and come into some more bearish territory. Grok says 30 cents by the end of the week. 30 cents? We would need huge crypto news for that. Hey, maybe the Dogecoin Foundation and House of Doge and stuff comes out with news this week that makes something like that happen. Certainly a possibility. Elon gave up on Doge? No, he didn't give up on it. He's just working on other things. Working on other things. You disagree that TA doesn't matter? It's just how you use that TA information sometimes. News plays into it. No, it doesn't. And day trading can go all to crap. If somebody was day trading today, they lost huge. All these red candles, all the day trading in the world, you're not going to make money today. Nobody made money day trading today. TA didn't help you today. Didn't help you at all today. Heck no, no way is anything we've seen part of a bull market. We can look at the past and we can see, let me go to my pullback charts here that Gel has given us in the past. We certainly haven't had the path to alt season. We've had no phase 2 Ethereum, no money flow into ETH or large caps. That hasn't happened. So there's no alt season. But we've had this. But we've had these big pullbacks in the past. 2021 bull market and bigger 2017 bull market. But none of these has been as long. Well, we could say the 2021 pullback, right? Had a big pullback, long sort of sideways action, and then a recovery to a new all-time high. Bitcoin did do that in 2021. We could be in that. We could be mirroring that. That's kind of an interesting one to look at. Maybe we should explore that more. What happened in 2021? because there was a big run that came the second half of 2021. The high Bitcoin hit in, I think it was February 2021, was 64K, dropped all the way to the 30s, and then made a new all-time high of 69K in the fall. Interesting. We could be mirroring that now. Going to explore that. Yeah, Peter. So, another big drop, 17.6. Ouch. Ouch on Dogecoin there. We just dipped to 17.69 right there. Right off my orange line. Look at that. Right off my orange dotted line. I am confused as to why we are dropping after such bullish news of the reserve. Joseph, it ended up being all smoke and mirrors. Crypto, as we knew it, is no longer crypto. It's Bitcoin as digital gold that's now being seen as this huge, store of value, right? Bitcoin is not going to be used as a currency. It's not a cryptocurrency anymore. Now you've got all the governments and the institutions just buying it to hodl it. What is that doing to its value? For me, right now, it's saying maybe it's not worth as much as people thought it was. And maybe Michael Saylor's whole kind of view of Bitcoin in the future, of scarcity, of being this huge thing, isn't as great as it was. I don't know. That's why I did the Dogecoin white paper. Remember this last week? I was like, the Bitcoin white paper is not Bitcoin anymore. Bitcoin is not a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. That's why we looked at Dogecoin. And this is more Dogecoin now than Bitcoin. The white paper, remember that? That's my theory. Dogecoin is the peer-to-peer electronic cash system, and Bitcoin is just going to do its store of value. But it's going to take a while for Dogecoin to recover and see that play out. Yes. Is this an extended pullback to reset for a huge end of year? Greg, that's kind of what I'm thinking now. No second bull, Johnny says. Trump economy isn't going to turn around anytime. He did say it was going to be challenging for the first part of his term. Got to have some pain before you have the gain. That's what I say. Yumfo thinks there'll be another run-up. If this isn't our bull cycle, I'll just hold and buy until the next run-up. Hype. There it is, right there. Exactly. That's exactly what happens. You were waiting to buy 17 cents. Now you've got 17 cents, but now you've lowered your price target to 15 cents. Happens every time. No conviction. Yes, there's a lot of weakness in the market. I get it. But all of these, everyone who said, oh, I'm going to buy at 17, and now we're at 17, and you're not buying. The global liquidity index indicator shifted to the right. Yeah, there's no quantitative easing yet. We talked about the money supply. It's not happening yet. Paper hands sell from fear. Diamond hands will prosper. Yeah, crypto, I know. but a lot of people were buying 40-cent Doge and 30-cent Doge and hurting in the short term. The trade war of attrition, convinced we'll win it, Nate. Painful when it starts, though, and the markets are not reacting well. But I mean, the United States, we had our own challenges with our deficit, 30 some odd $30 trillion deficit, and a budget that there's no way we could balance it. And we're just starting to cut off all of those huge payments, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars being sent around the world to who knows what. And the Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, is finding all this stuff. And the Democrats are all freaking out, right? Oh, you can't stop US aid because it's saving so many lives around the world. Small percentage, maybe. The bigger percentage is going back into the pockets of all the grifters. Yes, the grifters. And that's all being found out now. That's tough. You think they almost want a recession. They want a huge dip from all-time high to buy up the market and land in businesses. Well, that's a very negative sentiment, right? I mean, that's what Elon wants, right? Elon wants everybody to lose so that he can become more rich and more powerful. You don't get it. No, you don't get it. Elon doesn't need that. Wow. Alt season hasn't started, Craig, because there's no sentiment for it. We don't have the stimulus checks we had in 2021. And the markets are they're just not there for that kind of buying. That's why 99% of Arbitrum holders are in the red. 96% of Dogecoin holders are in the red. Because there's no new money, new flush of money coming in to buy all that stuff. And Dogecoin the same. You're going to wait for 15 cent now, Demi? You are also being manipulated. I'm being manipulated, Julian? How am I being manipulated? You have to tell me that. I want to hear that story. How am I being manipulated? I'm here on a Sunday morning talking about a huge bearish crypto market while the price is going down. How am I being manipulated? I want to hear that. We still have 300 members in the channel, MTB. 300 members following me because I keep it real, and we talk about Dogecoin as a peer-to-peer cryptocurrency, probably the best one out there, not stupid XRP, not Solana, nobody's using ETH to buy anything. So I still believe in that. And that hasn't changed. But right now I'm talking about the market sentiment, and you guys are following up with the negativity as well. But how does that reflect back on me? How am I being manipulated? Wow. You're over being nervous, Will? It is what it is, right? It is what it is. A big crash day on April 2nd? Why do you say April 2nd, Eek? Think where we were 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago today, you could have bought Doge at about 4.5 cents. I'm guessing that's about what the price was, if I remember. You have like $300 invested into Doge, a little bit into some other cryptos, buying at discount prices. Harry believes. Organized chaos with Trump. I would agree with that, James. Some organized chaos or unorganized policies going out to try to combat things and maybe not doing it the right way. But now the bigger view on the workers, James, is to encourage more businesses, right, to have their businesses here in America and not overseas. And then those workers will shift back from being paid by the government to being paid by the private market. It's just going to take a while for that to happen, but that's what it is. Short-term unemployment rate up, sure. But long-term stability and better overall economy. It's just painful now in the short term what we're feeling. This will bring lower interest rates, right? Let the new office adjust into the price, correct. That's all correct. But it's a short-term volatility, which is why I'm still bullish long-term. I'm not a bear saying everything's going to zero. Dogecoin isn't going to zero, right? That's not going to happen. But again, my message here today is it's the overall crypto market. It's not just Dogecoin. Everything's down. Everything's in the red. Everything's in the red, guys. Let's go to crypto bubbles and you can see. Crypto. Now watch it prove me wrong and have one green bubble somewhere. Move. And this thing IP, but IP dumped over the week. So now it's up just a little bit. And everything else is in the red. Look at Pi, 24% down. I hope you guys didn't buy Pi token. I really hope you didn't. Bera down 11, Bonk down 9.5, Jasmy down 11.5. There's Doge at 9, Pepe at 8.7, Hex at 10, Floki 10. So even the Trump token can't, down 7, can't even hold up. So yeah, that's what we got. Transition takes time. The implementation of Doge into the consumer's daily life has not yet begun. Still big things coming, just not today. Yep, hopeful for the week ahead. Thank you, Julie, for the super chat. Appreciate it. Grok it. Grok, I mean, I like a lot of things that Grok says, but Grok is very influenced by the X crypto Twitter community who say things that aren't always true, particularly if there's a more of a bullish sentiment on X, then Grok's responses will be bullish, even if it's not true. That's what I've seen. Elon is neglecting a lot of things. And man, the number of protests against Tesla is amazing. The sentiment against Elon right now is huge. I mean, you think Democrats are like 45% of the country, and they're all still influenced by CNN, MSNBC, mainstream media. It's anti-Trump and now anti-Elon. That's crazy. No, you can't say Trump doesn't have a plan. I don't agree with that. Still holding 8 million Jasmy Venom. hold on. I mean, country Japan is now saying no capital gains on crypto, no capital gains taxes in Japan. That should be bullish for Jasmine. Again, that's just going to, you got to wait for this whole negative economic sentiment to it's going to take a little while. It's going to take a little while. What do you think we get first, Dogecoin ETF or Dogecoin adoption? I think it's going to be the adoption first, Christian, but it's going to be slow. I'm guessing when we get this big announcement from the foundation and the House of Doge that the number of partnerships that they have, I'm thinking kind of B-list. I'm thinking B-list, slow adoption. It's not going to be major retailers. That's going to come later. The ETF, I think there's going to be Dogecoin ETF. Like I've said, not until fall timeframe. Not going to be next week like some people are saying, or no. All these things take time. People have negative reactions, right? The market overcorrects for these things. And eventually we'll come back. Are we going to see 15-cent Dogecoin? I don't know. Is Hype's like new 15-cent price target going to hit? I don't know. But there's a lot of negativity in the market right now. And like I said, I don't think this is turning around on a Sunday. Is there a super cycle around town? I don't know if we're going to have a true full 80% like Bitcoin pullback, 70%, whatever. I don't think that's happening with Bitcoin. Altcoins, that is happening. Doge is now 60% down from its yearly high, actually the cycle high from December. But Matt, we could see a big run happen in the fall. That could still happen like we had in 2021. The cycles are morphing and changing from what we had before. That's for sure. From 2017 to 2021 and 2025 is a different cycle now. Yeah, it's a bear from 3 months ago. That's what I said. The liquidity cycles, we are watching them. They are delayed right now because of the economic challenges we have around the world. Inflation is still a bug that's still there. And it took the stock market a little longer to finally start pulling back. That was delayed. There was still a lot of optimism in the stock market, and that's been delayed. 17.6. Now we're 17.5. 17.55 now. So again, a lot of negative sentiment here. The buyers aren't coming in yet. The big buying isn't coming in yet. And despite Ali and his charts about whales accumulating and all that, it's just like, no, Ali's wrong. Those aren't whale accumulations. Most of those are just transfers. They're looking at blockchain data, and blockchain data does not differentiate between a transfer and a purchase. It doesn't differentiate. Trade war is worse than a real war for the crypto market. That's for sure. That's for sure. Because it's slow and painful. This trade war thing. Well, the Trump thanking happened for like 20 minutes, however long. We covered it live on Friday. And that was just one part of the overall crypto summit. Started in the morning or early afternoon, went for a couple hours. They talked about stuff. Then Trump came in. That was all the thanking. Trump thanking the working group, and the working group then thanking Trump. And that's all we saw. We heard a little bit more later about things they were actually talking about. But again, not what the crypto community wanted to hear. All positive for cryptocurrency in the long term, but it really takes away from a lot of what cryptocurrency ethos was about, why cryptocurrency was made in the first place. Now it's just something to hold, buy and hold. That's what a reserve is, or a stockpile. And that's not what crypto is about. But I know a lot of people investing in it just because you want to make a lot of money. Not happening now. Yeah, Harry, go ask Ali when $18. Go ask Ali. Yeah, Greg, I know you bought on the dip at 17.67 and now we're at 17.53. Again, a lot of negative. 17.67 was my orange line, but we've now dipped below it. Trump really flaked on us. Trump is not making everyone not like him. Trump is doing the bigger thing, the hard thing that needs to be done to save the United States. United States, as Elon said back on the campaign trail, United States is on the path to bankruptcy. And these are the things that need to be done to stop that. Serious cuts need to be made. And that's what's happening. And it's on the world stage too. He talks about reciprocal tariffs. That's a huge thing. We were getting charged. Our United States was getting charged by other countries. 15%, 20% on tariffs. And Trump is saying, we're going to charge tariffs now on goods coming from your country back into ours at the same rate. And everybody's freaking out. And it's just like, wait, U.S. goods were getting charged tariffs going out to their country. How is that fair? He's not only thinking about himself. Shitty. It's not. No. Doge will be obliterated if Bitcoin goes to 76K. It already is, kind of. I mean, they're 17.5 now. It's tough. Mob Zero is going to wait for Dogecoin at 12.5 cents now. That's the sentiment that we have. When Dogecoin was, again, I say this, I've said this for weeks. When Dogecoin was in the 40s, people said, I'm going to buy when it's in the 30s. Dogecoin goes in the 30s, people said, I'm going to buy in the 20s. In the 20s, people are saying, oh, I'm going to buy 19 cents. We get to 19 cents. Oh, I'm going to buy when it's 17 cents. Now at 17 cents, people are saying 15 cents, 14 cents, 12 cents. I did buy some at 18.6. I bought on that dip, 18.6. Now we're at 17.5. I will continue to buy Dogecoin on dips. I believe in Dogecoin longer term, but it is tough. I get that. Back to 5 cents, Todd. Think it's still good, just a deep market, doesn't follow any history chart. I think it's a new thing. Again, the 4-year, we talk a lot about the 4-year cycles that go in with the money supply, goes in, following the Bitcoin halving, following the US presidential elections. And we did have a huge run. Remember, November 5th, the whole month of November, that was huge. Are we just going to retrace back to that? Are we going to retrace back to the end of October? Dogecoin was down here at 13 cents. On the morning of November 5th, let's say November 4th, the day before, Dogecoin was at 15 cents. Are we just going to complete that whole cycle back to pre-election, 15-cent Doge? That's what that would be. What did Bitcoin look like? Bitcoin, the morning of November 5th, was at 68K. Is Bitcoin going to complete that cycle back to 68K pre-election? Interesting theory. But again, it's not just Dogecoin guy. I mean, look at Solana. Guess where Solana was pre-election? 161. That's right. Solana was 161. Now it's at 131. It's lower than what it was right before the election. Doge and Bitcoin are still higher. That's kind of interesting. So are people freaking out about Solana going to zero? Yeah, some probably are. Some probably are. Looks like there might be some buyers now for Dogecoin at this level. Look at this wick down, big volume, and now starting to come back up. Are we starting to see the buying coming in on Doge right now? No, we're not doomed. Yeah, and Isaac, when does the quantitative easing start? Yep, Trump said short-term pain, something like that. It's going to take a little bit. Yeah, I talked earlier about profit taking, James, and I referenced my video that I made on November 28th, taking profits. I referenced that video again, taking profits. I took profits. I was feeling all cozy and warm in our sideways 20-cent movements. Yeah. Yeah, Jasmine, my average was 0.003. And in fact, I still have some from 0.003. That's the Jasmine that's in my KrissPax portfolio. I still have some Jasmine here. This portfolio is still up 150%. Remember, I bought at 10,000. It's still at 25,000, even with this fall, even with the dump going on. And there's our Jasmine at 0.0036. Still up 289%. So again, a lot of the market is a lot of, and even your sentiment can be, when did you buy? And what's your average? And just under 2 years ago, we were buying this portfolio the summer of 2023. So we have a Bitcoin price of 26.9. We have a Dogecoin price of 6.1. XRP at 58 cents. And Jasmine at 0.003. And these are all in the green still. Again, it was following the cycles. I haven't taken any profits on this portfolio because I was going to let this portfolio play out through the rest of the bull market. I still think there's going to be, I think there's still going to be a second run. We were talking about AO and what AO was looking at here of a second bull. And instead of the circle here lining up with the previous bull cycle in February, we're instead, I think, lined up more now with where the cycle was in late May, early June 2021. And that second run is going to happen in the fall. I think that's more the narrative we have now. left translated cycle, all on the hype of the Trump presidency, right? When he was elected, that's when we had a 200% gain in Doge. We're retracing a lot of that gain back. And like I just showed, a lot of alts were hurt even more, like Solana, which is much lower than it was now than it was in November 5th. So I think that's a theory I'm going to start looking at more, is what this looked like through the summer of 2021 and then into the fall. And that's what we may be experiencing. But we have some buyers coming in for Dogecoin right now, from 17.5 now up to 17.7. And Bitcoin doing the same. Bitcoin dropped to 82.6 and now up to 83.6. So Bitcoin's already come up $1,000. So we're not doomed yet, guys. As Greg says, don't get greedy, but don't get shaken out. Am I a bot? I don't think so, Chimp. I don't think so. I do encourage people, though, to give a like to the stream. Also, subscribe if you haven't already subscribed, if you haven't watched me before. Again, try and keep things real here on this channel. It's not all sunshine and rainbows and unicorns, right? We go through the tough times too, and we got one right now, but I try and keep it real. I don't do fancy technical analysis here because I don't believe that stuff. I don't think anybody predicted this. Even Ali was all up, right? And even Trader Allen, right, was all up with all of his TA charts that he does. He wasn't predicting this. All of Trader Tardigrade's charts were all positive. And we're down. So TA isn't going to show this. Diamond hands prosper when you buy bottoms, and this is no bottom. You're still buying sheep. That was my thinking before paranormal, was sheep was going to have a crazy explosion. I sold all my sheep. Out of the sheep game. Christoph, it's a slow bleed, not bleed out, but a bleed of the whole altcoin market. The cycle is different. What we saw until December was the bull market. Bitcoin is the king. That's the bitter reality. And that is looking like what had happened. That is looking like that. Yes. That's looking like that. This whole notion that we had of this chart here, the alt season chart, that there's the phase one Bitcoin, and then the phase overlap, money flows into ETH. ETH goes back and forth, and then ETH takes over and outperforms Bitcoin. That hasn't happened. And that may not happen. And so large caps and alt season may not happen. Canada no longer selling alcohol from America. Well, I'm not using any Canadian maple syrup. So there. By September, the market will be back to normal. I think so, James. Again, might be painful between now and through August. We'll see how long this all takes. Grok says Dogecoin to hit $1. Gotta love Grok, right? Gotta love Grok. Elliott bought more Doge. End of March, beginning of April, start to see nice gains. Austin's very optimistic right now. what are we, March 9th? So we'll see how the next 3 weeks plays out. Hi, Saraj. I'm doing okay. Wish I had money left to buy dips. Still feel the real bull is on the way. So despite the negativity we're seeing in the short term, I'm still seeing a lot of longer term positivity. Eek, you got to tell me what this April 2nd thing is. You haven't told me yet. What's up with April 2nd? Why April 2nd? I wouldn't rely on Doge checks. I don't think there's going to be stimulus checks coming out of Doge. I think that's going to go into tax cuts. I think there's going to be more tax cuts instead in the United States. I don't know, Craig. Right now, I'm hearing 15 cents in the gallery. People have taken their 17-cent bottom and they've lowered it to 15. $0.06. 5 cents. Bitcoin to 67K. So Stephen says April 2nd is his birthday. Well, Stephen, someone is predicting April 2nd is going to be a terrible day, but I hope for your birthday's sake it isn't. Trump increases the tariffs on April 2nd. Oh, that's why. That's the next tariff, big tariff scare. I think maybe it will be worse before April 2nd than the actual date. What we saw last week was the actual tariff day actually ended up being a good trading day. It was the fear of it going up to that date that dumped the markets. Again, that markets are forward thinking. When the actual news happens like that, it's already priced in because the fear of it already dumped the market going into that. Hey, Wei, you know, if you're just an investor, it's not bad to have some Bitcoin. Again, Bitcoin's going to be the store of value, strategic reserve, hodl Bitcoin, scarcity, and all of that, right? What have you learned about Cardano trading? Much more volatile. We don't know the utility of Cardano long term. I mean, this may be setting up for crypto to be who's the winners and losers. And it's going to be the ones with real utility. Hopefully Doge has adoption, use as a currency, gets more widely accepted, all of that. But do you really believe Charles Hoskinson in Cardano? He says he's going to the crypto summit, and then he ended up not getting an invitation, right? He's reaching out to Elon Musk with his Bitcoin 2.0 and how he can help get Dogecoin onto X with X money. And it's like, no. Do you really want to follow a guy like that? I don't have faith in Cardano even going to $2 now. I was predicting $2 ADA, but now I'm like, yeah, nope. I don't see that happening. Why don't I like XRP EDUB? I know I will not make an XRP opinion video, not worth it. Just this morning, more news came out. And look for it on X, right? That they actually had Ripple actually had a strategy to FUD Bitcoin in order to help their XRP token get a bunch of buyers. That's their mode of thinking. Then they contributed to both the Kamala Harris campaign and the Donald Trump campaign, playing both sides. Trump wins, Brad Garlinghouse gets a meeting with Trump because he donated to the campaign, but he actually donated to both. And then he gets an invite to the crypto summit. But he's in bed with the banks, right? Banks and government. That's not cryptocurrency. That's not what cryptocurrency is about. XRP is not going to be used as a currency. Now, will it help with some cross-border, like bank payment thing? Maybe. Can you make money with XRP? Maybe. XRP is not going to $10. Probably not even going to go to $5. The $3 thing we saw might be its peak. I don't know. But if you drink the Ripple Kool-Aid, right? A token that is just over, it's not even 60% of its overall supply has been released. It has no new token release schedule. I don't know. The dip will never end. I don't agree with that. You're trying to buy crypto profits way? Well, it's buying at the bottom of the bear market is how you make money in crypto. And we don't know where the bottom of this bearish sentiment is. We were just thinking it was turning around, and now it's dropping lower, 17.4 for Doge. But again, everything is dropping now. Little green candle and then a red candle down. Cardano down. So again, it's not just Dogecoin, guys. Look what's going on with other cryptos too. Dropping lower. Bitcoin is about to drop back below 83K. The damage is going to be worse, Koji. You think so? Again, politics is ruining crypto. And crypto's not the same anymore. I get that. But there is support from the US government for cryptocurrencies. The government itself is going to concentrate more on stable coins and just keeping what it has as a store of value. I don't know how the whole crypto as a payment method is still going to be accepted. Yeah, Jose, I think a lot of that, particularly with Mexico, was the Mexican government, not only the Mexican government complaining about it, but then we had the US automakers complaining to Trump about that immediate tariff because they've got a lot of cars in production in Mexico. And so they want to at least get those cars that are in production back to the US because otherwise that would just really hurt their profits. So I get that. Pause till April. That made sense. I don't think Trump and the Commerce Secretary Lugnick, who was behind part of this too, really saw what the immediate damage would be on American companies. So finish the production of the cars over the next 30 days, right? Let those come in without the tariffs, and then we hit the tariffs. So I think that was fair to the American companies. But the bigger picture is still build your cars in America. Hire American workers. In the long term, that's going to help the US economy. In the short term, it's going to be painful. Yeah, I don't think Jasmine's going back to 003. The Trump token, Corey, agree. That was bad, and we lived it. I mean, I was all ready to be taking profits that weekend, right before the inauguration. I was expecting, buy the rumor, sell the news. We were going to have a run up in the crypto prices. That's what I predicted completely, all of that. And I was ready, on that Saturday, to be starting to take my profits. And late Friday night, that Trump token got listed, and we just saw this huge transfer of crypto liquidity trading going all into that Trump token. And now you know what the price of the Trump token is? Let's do that one. $11. $11. So we had all of that liquidity there. Inauguration weekend, right? Trump went from $2 all the way up to $77. And look what it's done since then. Now, I did buy some. It's a collectible, right? But man, yeah, but that killed inauguration weekend. The volume of trading on this Trump token was immense that weekend. And I said that weekend, I was like, well, that ruins like my theory. And we saw other crypto prices going down while Trump was going up. And I was like, well, let's see how this settles out after the inauguration and the Trump token. I mean, it dipped down quite a bit. Had a couple little green candles here on daily, but it's kind of dipped below 11 bucks right now. Doge at 17.3 now. Each bar is going to go back to 6 cents. Yeah, is the Fort Knox gold still there? Tim Stebbing, is he going to save Doge? Dogecoin Foundation. I mean, this is the perfect time, right? Big marketing blitz. Roll this thing out right with House of Doge, Such Pay, all of that. Dogecoin as a currency. That would be awesome. Doge needs that. Crypto has been around a while. We're only 2 months into the new age. Have faith, be patient, do only good every day. Thank you, Greg. Keep everybody sane. Yeah. If Bitcoin goes down to like 70K, a lot of people are going to be wrecked. 63% pullback in 3 months could be a bottom signal. Bitcoin getting rejected from the 200 moving average on the 1 minute. Nobody looks at the 1 minute. 1 minute doesn't mean anything. Bulldozer grabbed a little more. Ripple Foundation consistently selling on its holders. Yes, that happens too. That's not solely Ripple. There's a lot of others that do it, but the XRP army doesn't talk about that. It's a bear market until it breaks from the descending triangle. Bitcoin is starting to form one. We've been watching downward channels for a while. You love Cardano, have a big bag of it, believe in Charles, but it's not your only bag. I made profit on Cardano, 300% profit on my Cardano that I had. Out of it now. Jets. Buy it. You're still buying. Well, I mean, how do you feel about crypto now? The day has come, Tobias says, to rebuy my ADA. So you did a swing trade. You sold on the pump and now buying back on the dip. Yeah, we can go to the hourly chart and we can see what the big pump that Cardano had. Boom. Last Sunday. Boom. Up over $1. And now, so you're buying here at 74, 75 cents. Sold from $1, 25% on a swing trade. I would say that's a good trade, but it still could go lower. We could see Cardano in the 60s. Will I do a live stream later this evening? Bruce asks. I said I was going to do one. Maybe I will. We'll see what's going on tonight. I mean, I don't know what else I'll say tonight that I'm not saying now, but we'll just have the rest of the days trading to be looking at. But I mean, there's uncertainty, right? So maybe it'll be a Dogecoin uncertainty stream tonight. You want it, Bruce? You guys going to be around? Digibyte was doing well, old school crypto. Again, people asking because it was going up, but I don't know what this does and what its utility is. So this could just be a pump. You know, this run it went on yesterday. I don't know why. People just buying it. But it doesn't look strong now. Came up to 1.2, and now it's trying to hold on to a penny. I don't think that's going to hold. It'll be back down here where it was before the pump, maybe 009. Just got an indicator. Injective is down to $10. I remember Injective was $35. Now it's 10. Hedera down to 20 cents. Hedera is dropping. It's going to be back with Doge in the teens. So yeah, guys, this is everything. 73 now for Cardano. Bitcoin at 82.7, 82.6, still going down. Oh. Everyone, including me, Greg. Now, I wasn't looking for inauguration day for the big movement. I was looking for that weekend before. Again, buy the rumor, sell the news thing. But yep, that's what happened. We have first aid kits. I get it. Crypto's down right now, so continue your other hustle and wait. That's good, CDC. You got to have other side businesses, right? It's always good to do that. I promote that to help you financially. Have a side business, do something. Sometimes it takes a little while to build up a side business. Again, I've been working on mine for just over 10 years. And that still brings money in. Daydream, panic mode. Bitcoin is dead. Wow, Paisy Bay, you are not getting it. Another girl bought the dip. Hi, Jay, how are you? Now, clocks were moved forward in the United States. So if you're here in the US, you lost an hour. I hope they just don't move the clocks again. Just leave it where they are now. Let's be done with it. Trump says it's a 50-50 thing. He doesn't really care. So he's not going to do like some executive order thing about daylight savings time or not. I think this has a lot to do with war tensions. I mean, we still talk about the two conflicts. They still go on. Peace in the world would be awesome. One of them is kind of half at peace now, but there's a lot of rumblings going on about between Israel and Hamas, whether that is really done or not. Go touch grass, Victor. Sold your sheep, made a little bit. Roll it over into Doge. If Doge gets down to 12. 17.25 now for Doge. Daylight savings affected the crypto market. There are no expectations, PayZB. They're all over the place. All of those numbers you list there, 30, 40, 50, 60, there's somebody out there saying it. There's no technical analysis that's going to tell you what the bottom is. It's going to be what it's going to be. How do you trade it? How do you react to it? That's up to you. The Mega Millions are going up to $5 a ticket. I can't believe they're actually going to make more money doing that. I guess they will, from $2 to $5. JS, 15 cents. There are some people saying 15, some are saying 12. Henry says, welcome to the bear market. Earlier on, somebody said if it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. I say bearish. I still think it's going to be, it's more like 2021's, not where AO has this black circle, but we're over here. Similar to what happened late May, where we dumped down. And then we're going to have this kind of sideways to down movement before coming back up in the fall. I think we're going to be more like this. But we'll see. This is unprecedented for this early in 2025 to not be in full bull like we had in the last 4-year cycles. This is different. I get that. And there's nobody who predicted this. Nobody in crypto. It was all 4-year cycles, and I was guilty of it too. I knew we were overbought after the election. Again, if you guys don't know, I did a take profits video on November 28th. I just remind people that I made this video November 28th, taking profits. So it's not a bear cycle unless BTC closes below 70 KW. So we need to go back to the previous all-time high from the last cycle. It was like 69 something. Yes, I'm live now. I may come live. I may be live again later tonight. Do a nighttime stream like I talked about. But I came on now just because we've got this market doing its thing, dropping down. And I was just like, yeah, we gotta come on and talk about this while it's happening, because this is pretty severe what's going on. There's no doubt. Again, it's not just Doge. Here's H-bar. Big dive. And we were watching a number of these cryptocurrencies. Big dives. Ethereum Classic, 18.5. It's now below my initial buy-in price of 19.4. That's what that blue line was when I bought. But I sold it. I already took my profit on that. Mutable X, diving down. The graph, well below 10 cents now. Look at Fetch, Jasmy, big dive in the Jasmy price. Pepe is down to 6. It just dipped just below 6 here a little bit ago. So even the Pepe holders, pretty tough. I believe in crypto, but this was supposed to be our next shot. I know, Daydream. And stocks as well boosted his stocks are retracing now too. Tesla's down big. Nvidia's down big. Right now, the best stocks to be in are the healthcare stocks and the dividend-paying stocks. Recession is being talked about. Stagflation is being talked about. Like all of these things going on. Not a good economy. You guys are going to be here later for this stream? Okay, I'll be on. Probably around 7 o'clock tonight. 8 o'clock, somewhere like that. Yeah, we could see 16.5. Red Bull says waking up to a discount, bought more. Make $200 a day at your job, lose $200 a day in crypto. That's short term. Yeah, clock's running. And Jay, that's what we've been talking about for an hour and a half now. What's going on? You only lose if you sell for a loss. What do you believe in crypto going forward? Why did you buy crypto in the first place? Did you buy crypto because you believe in the tech? Did you buy crypto because of its decentralized finance and you don't like the banks? That's why I bought. Or did you buy it as a gamble just because you want to make a lot of money? You know, just think in your head, right? Not what you want other people to think, but what do you think? Why did you buy crypto? And if it's just to make a lot of money, again, a lot of people do that. It's investing, right? But think in your head for yourself, why did you buy? Is it there's greed, right? There's no doubt. Greed plays a factor, particularly when maybe you bought in last fall when Doge was last at 13, 14 cents. And then it goes all the way up to 48 cents. And your mind is playing these tricks like, all right, it's going to go to $1 or it's going to go to 69 cents or all these things we talked about, right? But then it drops to 42, it drops into the 30s, it drops into the 20s, and you keep hoping and wanting it to go back up. Again, that's the psychological thing. Yili, watch the first 10 minutes of the stream, and I'll go through what is a bear market. All right. I went through in very detailed beginning of the stream. So for anybody else too, if you're interested in what's a bear market, the first 10 minutes of the live stream, I went into a lot of detail on that, and I can't just summarize it in like 30 seconds. Trump, crypto president, he's ruined everything with his tokens and decision to be honest. Tough, no doubt. Tough. When BTC $1, Harry. Hey, I asked earlier, right? Is Bitcoin, was it a tulip market? Did we just go through a tulip market? And now the United States has bought into this whole idea. And it's over. It'd be tough to think that. Down thousands today, but up bigly overall. When I rub my crystal ball, it says most people will be wrong. Pump starts Monday. I would say recovery could start Monday, but on the stock market, again, I don't know what its further reaction is going to be on Monday. Certainly had a down week, and we looked at that. Right. I think the overall sentiment in the American population is what Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, is doing by finding all of the waste and the fraud in our government spending is a good thing. But at the same time, they don't like the part where they're cutting jobs. But again, that's part of the overall government waste, I believe, and those jobs needed to be trimmed. That's what I believe. And it's painful. I get it. Doge sending many people to the therapist. K-Dub, you're going to load up on Bitcoin at 35 or 40K. You think that's going to be the bottom of the bear market down there? We don't know. 15 cents JS still in play. I did watch the Celtics game last night, Stephen. We watched the game. Very exciting game. I think Luka had something going on with his back. He was getting tired. LeBron was definitely overexerting. He's an old man now at 40 years old or whatever. So he had to leave the game. That was tough at the end. It would have been nice to see both of them healthy to the end and have a really tight game at the end. But Celtics were playing good defense against them. That's for sure. Cryptos are always live. That's why crypto is so volatile. Hard to predict when huge trades can happen. That is true. Global M2 money supply. We've seen that before. Is that going to be different this cycle, though, Randy? I think it's going to be different this cycle. Remember Raw Paul and his whole theory about the banana zone and all of that? We only got half a banana. And that was because of the Trump presidential win. That had nothing to do with money supply. And that's what Raw was talking about. It was all money supply, money supply, money supply. Hasn't happened. Dogecoin needs a GoFundMe. That's good. Hey, Blue Horse, how are you? Nighttime there, right? Victor, you'll be on with me this evening? Yep, I'll be on. I will do it. We'll get caught up on what's going on for those that weren't able to join in this early one. Trying not to look at prices. Tough to do. Yeah. Why buy stocks with 7% return when you could buy crypto? In a bull market, that makes sense. Again, Doge went up 200% in November into early December. Overbought. Thought it would stabilize and go higher once Trump took office and Elon was there and all of that. That hasn't played out. You think we missed the whole 4-year thing, Cheyenne? I think we're still going to have a fall comeback. It's going to be painful, though. Are they bringing it down on purpose so the government can buy in? Grace. Yeah. It's funny to hear those narratives. It really is, when they don't do that. They don't even think of that. And plus, the United States government already said they're not buying. Not buying. Exactly what EK said. Government is not buying crypto. Now, the BlackRocks and Fidelities and JP Morgans of the world, who knows? This is how Trump will get Powell to cut interest rates. Then the government can refinance debt at a lower interest rate. Linda, that is big. Trump wants Powell to cut interest rates. Powell needs a reason to do it, particularly if the unemployment numbers go up. Guys, we're at 1707 now. We're about to drop into the 16s. Ouch. About to drop into the 16s. 1705 now. Ooh. Yeah, Ryan, exactly. The government won't know how to buy the dip. They won't know. Right. Be like Charlotte. Have Grok be your therapist. They don't even know what they've taken, EK. The US government said that they have to do an audit. They have no idea. Oh, they only own what they've taken. Right. But they don't know what it is. They have to audit it to figure it out. No clue. Thank you, Steve. You're still optimistic about the new administration. Change is happening faster and scarier than we've seen before. Yeah. Hey, Blake, how are you? The Fed hasn't cut rates. They haven't started quantitative easing. Right. They're still worried about inflation. That inflation bug is still out there. ETH could drop below 2K. It's at 205 now. Drop to 2045. Yeah, we could see sub 2000 ETH. I get paid next on Friday. We're taking Doge to Mars. The red planet. It makes sense now. Just go to Mars. John, you sold off a lot when I sold. Plenty for dip bills. I didn't sell the top, though. I didn't sell the top. Now, I did take a slice at 42 cents, but the rest was like 31 cents. But it was before this, so... Trump trying to force rate cuts. We are cooked. Doge portfolio looks like my Acorns account. I remember an Acorns thing. Pump a lot says just keep buying on the dips. 16 cents, 15 cents, 14 cents. We're holding 17 at the moment. Jonesing, if you've been paying attention and you have a Dogecoin in your logo, which I can't believe because you're so, yeah, time to buy or change your icon. Exactly. It's not just Dogecoin today, buddy. Bitcoin is down to 82.5. HBAR down 20 cents. We had Solana down. We're showing up. It's the whole crypto market, dude. Man. Yeah, you missed a lot. Almost perfect. Dumping. Liquidation map, Debbie says. Yeah, let's see what's going on, because we know what's going on with the liquidations, right? They just continue. Let's see the big liquidations. Oh, look, there was just a $1.6 million liquidation on Bitcoin. We just had 1.6 million. Over past 24 hours, it's almost 100 million overall on Bitcoin. But yeah, we have a lot of huge ones. Here's a Doge one. 105,000 on Doge. So yeah, liquidations. Bad. A lot of new shorters up here on Bitcoin. Look at all these new shorts that have opened up today. Huge. 40 million, 48 million, 40 million. Huge shorts on Bitcoin. Getting heavily shorted. Wow. But this is like 3-month stuff we got to look at. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Bitcoin is not as low as it was back at the end of February. Bitcoin dropped to 79, 78, remember? So Bitcoin isn't that low. But Doge, this is lower for Doge, lower territory. So all of those who are riding long leverage, there wasn't much. It doesn't do a longer chart on CoinGlass than 3 months. So we don't know where all the big longs were down here. Yeah, not much to see on Doge's chart. On Bitcoins, it's really more sort of the 2-week chart, I would say. Doge just dropped below 17 cents. Ouch. I'm not going to 4 cents, Sheedy. Yeah, 16.98. Ouch. Sold half your Doge and bought XRP. Well, good luck with that, Maximus. I mean, it's all crypto that's dumping now. You basically sold something that went down 10% for something that went down 7%. So you're already behind on that trading pair. Don't know. If I had the money now, would I place a limit order? Yeah, I'd buy 16-cent Doge, sure. Yeah, it's everybody, or nobody predicted this. Nobody's a fortune teller either. We don't know. What about XLM? People can talk about XLM. Something going on with XLM? Yeah, it's kind of going sideways a bit after falling down some, but holding a little more strength than others, only down 1.5%, as opposed to XRP being down 7%. So I don't know what's going on with XLM, but it's holding up fairly well this morning as opposed to everything else. I don't know why. And what about Ethereum? What did it drop to? It dropped to 20, 2,037 is its low so far. Still threatening to drop below 2K. I don't think Ethereum's going to see its all-time high again, Tony. Tatboy, I don't know if the sell-off is going to continue through the day. I'll be on again tonight after 7 o'clock, and we'll do a summary of the day, look at how the U.S. future stock market looks, try and get a glimpse of what we might see on Monday. I'll be doing that tonight. Leverage traders are just getting wiped. I think we're getting more shorters now, which we just looked at. A bunch more shorters in the market. I say, yeah, let's go get the shorts, but yeah. Is crypto great again, Danny? Hey, when you see these red candles, sometimes that's the best time to buy. Again, we don't know how painful this sell-off could continue to be. We don't know what's going to happen with the markets, come Monday yet, but money is made in crypto, particularly if you buy the dip. That's the bottom. That's where you make the money. There's a risk always. I don't know if it's going to dip down to 15 or 14, but when you see this kind of dip, this is the opportunity you look for when you're investing, particularly in crypto. But if in your mind you believe it's still going to go much lower, it might do that. Hope the people who are selling and trading for other crypto put aside money for those taxes. If you made a profit, some are selling at a loss in order to make it not lose more. Exactly, Tobias. We can't predict the future of the crypto markets. It's a gut feeling. Susan's fault. She bought 18-cent Doge. It's all Susan's fault. The market makers have been selling, Sherilyn, but I think we also have a lot of shorting going on, which we just looked at the heat map. So that essentially is selling as well. Shorting, again, is the market makers or whoever, like borrowing coins from the exchange and then dumping them on the market to drop the price down lower. At some point in time, the buyers come in, and enough buyers come in at a price to overcome the shorting. And we haven't seen that yet. Me too, Cheyenne. I thought there was more Dogecoin support, at least above 17.5 cents. For it to come down here and touch 16.9. Yeah. You just said you don't think ETH will ever see its all-time high ever again. Why would anyone buy anything but Bitcoin that's a viewer of your channel? A lot of us believe in Dogecoin as adoption, as an actual cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin as a store of value. And I told everyone for the last 2 months, that's all I'm buying. I'm buying Dogecoin and Bitcoin. I'm not buying anything else. I'm not buying ETH. I'm not buying, that's it. $0.17 right now looks like good support. So I'm going to call it a stream on this, guys. I'll be back tonight. It's my fault. Sure, Bax. It's all my fault. I made you buy. CDM bought low, sold highish, now waiting for re-entry. Yep. Rigged. Yep. Okay, guys. Hey, tough day trading. I get it. I'll be live on tonight for those in Singapore. It'll be your morning. I hope everyone has a great Sunday, regardless of what the markets are doing. Go outside, enjoy the day. See you tonight. Bye.
Dogecoin, which started as a complete joke, has like skyrocketed to not a joke anymore. It hit an all-time high of almost 10 cents yesterday, but it was so minuscule you wouldn't have understood why you have millions of shares.
Didn't Elon tweet that too?
And arguably, the most entertaining outcome and the most ironic outcome would be that Dogecoin becomes the currency of Earth in the future.